Have you ever heard of making it rain with artificial cloud seeding? Some of the coolest sci-fi technologies that have been practiced around the world, at least by some countries around. Cool technologies that were once reserved for science fiction are invading reality, and at an accelerating pace. Science fiction has long been a source of inspiration for the technological advancements we enjoy today, from amazingly smart robots to invisible cloaking wares. We have come a long way in transforming once fanciful concepts into everyday realities. Let's explore the exciting intersection between science fiction and our reality. Number 10. Squishy robots. This is fascinating. The T-1000 robot from the Terminator 2 movie, which could squeeze through tight spaces by changing into a liquid, is one such example. Now, scientists at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology have made their own version of this shape-shifting robot a reality. The Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, or DARPA, sought to develop deformable robots that could move like an octopus, squeeze through tight spaces, and enlarge themselves to move around large areas. In a surgical setting, these robots could perform tasks in a patient's body without damaging any organs or blood vessels. They could also be used in search and rescue operations to find survivors trapped under rubble. The scientists used a low-cost polyurethane foam coated with wax to achieve these deformable properties. By applying medium heat, the wax would morph from a hard shell to a soft surface, and the robot could repair itself automatically when heat was applied to the wax. This technology is yet another example of how science fiction concepts can inspire innovative solutions to real-world problems. Number 9. Mind control of inanimate objects. The concept of controlling inanimate objects with your thoughts may seem like science fiction, but it has become a reality. A project funded by the European Union called Brainflight aims to control an airplane using only signals from a human brain, with the goal of making flying easier, cheaper, and accessible to more people. The pilot wears a cap with electroencephalography, or EEG, electrodes that convert brainwaves into commands for the aircraft. The pilot does not touch any controls. The aircraft moves by itself on the signals received. The researchers developed an algorithm to process these signals, which repeatedly corrects the position of the plane until it lands smoothly. In flight simulator tests, participants with varying levels of expertise were able to pass the flying portion of a pilot's license test, with some even landing smoothly under conditions of poor visibility. This technology has the potential to revolutionize the aviation industry and increase safety by reducing the burden on current pilots. Number 8. Weather modification. On Star Trek: The Next Generation and other sci-fi films, the characters sometimes mention scientific techniques that would stop tornadoes or modify the weather in other ways. But now here is reality. You might have heard about cloud seeding, though it is a really expensive process of making it rain. Over 50 countries around the world have been doing it. Now researchers from the University of Central Florida and the University of Arizona had developed a real method to produce rain or lightning on demand. Using a high-energy laser beam shot into the clouds, the researchers are able to trigger an electrical event and control the weather. One of the biggest challenges they faced was ensuring that the high-energy laser beam didn't dissipate before it reached the target. To solve this issue, they used a secondary laser beam to surround and sustain the primary beam. With this approach, the researchers were able to extend the reach of the laser from 25 centimeters to at least 2 meters. They believe that it is possible to extend the reach of the laser to 50 meters or more, opening up the possibility of controlling rain and lightning over a vast area. Number 7. Tractor beams. Tractor beams have long been a staple in science fiction, but it wasn't until recently that they became a reality in the real world. Scientists at the Australian National University developed a wave-generated tractor beam that can draw floating objects toward it by creating waves that move against the object's direction. By manipulating the frequency and size of the waves, the scientists were able to move a ping-pong ball in the direction they wanted. They discovered that three-dimensional waves cause different patterns of currents on the water's surface, including a tractor beam pattern that could be useful for containing oil spills or maneuvering objects adrift in the water. Physicists at the University of Dundee also developed an acoustic tractor beam that could move an object of 1 centimeter in size using ultrasound energy. This breakthrough is significant because, until now, only microscopic objects could be moved with this type of beam. The scientists believe that this technology will greatly advance the use of ultrasound in healthcare. Number 6. Tricorders. The tricorder, a handheld scanner featured in Star Trek, is becoming a possibility in the real world.
Then, maybe it is Cymbeline blood burn.
No.
Scientists at the University of Southampton are developing a handheld medical scanner that uses electronic components as chemical sensors, enabling same-day diagnosis of protein samples at a patient's bedside. This would reduce cost and waiting times by eliminating the need to send samples to a lab. Similarly, scientists at the University of Missouri are developing a tricorder that would be a handheld X-ray scanner the size of a cell phone, using a radiation source as small as a stick of gum. This device could reduce medical expenses and provide X-ray diagnostic services to patients in remote areas. It could also be used for fighting terrorism by searching cargo at points of entry, and for interplanetary exploration with sensors to help explore other planets. The tricorder, once a futuristic gadget, could become a game-changing device in medicine, security, and space exploration. Number 5. Biometric payments with vein scanning. Biometric payments are no longer just a thing of science fiction, thanks to Fredrik Liefeld, an engineering student at Lund University in Sweden. Vein scanning technology is now being used to take payments from a customer's bank account. This technology utilizes a unique vein pattern in an individual's hand to grant access to secure bank accounts, making it easy, quick, and secure. As of April 2014, around 1,600 customers were actively using the system in 15 restaurants and stores in Sweden. Signing up for hand payments is relatively simple.
It's easy when I don't have my wallet with me. I can use my hand, so it's really fast and easy.
Customers only need to visit a store with a vein scanning terminal, enter their personal identifying information, scan their hand 3 times, and receive a text message with an activation link. Once the registration form is completed with all the necessary banking information, the customer is good to go. The use of vein scanning technology for payments eliminates the need for cash or credit cards, providing a more secure alternative for customers. The uniqueness of each individual's vein patterns makes fraud nearly impossible, ensuring peace of mind for users. Number 4. Robonauts with space legs. Human-like robots have been a mainstay in science fiction films, TV, books, and comic books. They run the gamut from Astro Boy to C-3PO and beyond. In the real world, we have Robonaut, a robot designed by General Motors and NASA, which we told you about before. But the human-like Robonaut 2, R2, is now taking the next step. The R2 robot aboard the International Space Station, ISS, originally had just a head and torso, with 2 arms and hands. That meant astronauts had to take work to the robot. But that's changing. Now, R2, not to be confused with R2-D2, has climbing legs to take over more duties from the astronauts. This is the first Robonaut in space that's mobile. R2 will start by working inside the space station with the eventual goal of being able to work outside the station. NASA wants to send increasingly sophisticated Robonauts wherever humans go in space. Whether astronauts intend to go to a moon or a planet, Robonauts will be useful. They may go ahead of humans to get things ready. They may go with humans to help with the tasks of everyday living and exploration, or stay without humans to maintain things in space. Number 3. Deflector Shields. A group of students from the University of Leicester have explored the possibility of creating deflector shields like those used in Star Wars to protect a spaceship from energy laser fire.
Ion torpedoes away!
The students proposed using a strong magnetic field to contain a dense, super hot plasma field around the ship to detect higher frequencies of laser radiation. The technology is similar to what we already use with radio communications and radar, where the ionosphere around the planet serves as a plasma field that reflects radio transmissions and radar back to Earth. While the required magnet strength for a deflector is possible, there are some challenges. The power source required for the shield would be enormous, leaving little room in the ship. Moreover, the shield would effectively blind pilots as it deflects light radiation. Nonetheless, the technology could find other applications, such as trapping radiation for use with a fusion reactor, although the feasibility of a Star Wars-style deflector shield is still a far-fetched idea. This research demonstrates the potential of plasma physics for practical applications. As our understanding of plasma physics grows, we may find other ways to harness its power to make our lives better on Earth. Number 2. Cloaking devices. Cloaking devices, a popular trope in science fiction, are becoming a reality in today's world for various sensory modalities like light, sound, touch, and heat. Scientists are using artificial metamaterials to reflect light, making an object invisible. Unfocused laser light is being used to produce metamaterials at the nanoscale. Metamaterials are also being developed to cloak sound and touch. While cost and scalability remain hurdles, scientists are making progress using a technique called nanotransfer printing to produce larger swaths of metamaterial. Engineers at the National University of Singapore have created a predator-like device that can block a person's thermal signature, making them invisible and untrackable by their body heat. The thermal cloak is cost-effective, using self-warming materials, and is ready for military use. Researchers are also working on a color-matching camouflage device that allows an object to blend in with its surroundings like an octopus. While hiding a spaceship is still a far-fetched idea, the advances in cloaking technology have many potential applications, including military, medical, and commercial uses. Number 1. Rosie the Robot Maid. Even cartoons can inspire technology. Rosie the Robot was a maid that the space-age Jetsons hired to do their housework. In the early 1960s, when the cartoon aired, that seemed like a futuristic fantasy. But today, we're a big step closer to the reality of anyone being able to buy or rent an inexpensive robot to sweep up or even detect a gas leak. You'd simply contact a robotic helper facility, tell them what you need, and in about an hour, they'd provide a basic robot to complete your task. That's the vision of scientists who've devised robots that can assemble themselves and walk or crawl away to their jobs without human intervention. These engineers built a self-assembling robot that can put itself together in 4 minutes using little more than paper and a children's toy called Shrinky-Dinks, which are sheets of flexible plastic that shrink when heated into small hard plates. This method is patterned after the way amino acids self-assemble into proteins with different functions. These robots could be used on Earth and in space, although they're not quite ready for prime time. The scientists want to experiment with materials that are stronger and need less heat to work. While we may not have yet fully developed some of these sci-fi technologies depicted in popular culture, significant progress has been made in various fields, and many of these once fictional technologies are becoming increasingly real with time. We hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, I'm sure you're going to love to watch our video about advanced ancient technologies that we can still not reproduce today. Make sure to click the subscribe button for future notifications and never miss amazing videos like this. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Till then, stay tuned.